So what are we doing here? Are we starting?
We are starting. Hear the music. Feel the power. Know the knowledge. Hello and welcome to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, with my producer, Benjamin. Okay, go away, Benjamin. I love it. And, of course, with me, as always, is the man with the plan.
The very confused and frightened Phil Parrish.
Philip Parrish, yes. But tonight, in a special treat for the long-time listeners, the original co-host / equal host / founder of Superconnectivity, our fearless leader.
Co-host? I was never on this show. I just guessed it, I think.
Episode 1.
No, you were on the first episode, Rob.
Was I?
If it was not for you, I would not be here today, Rob.
146 episodes ago.
That meant so much to me. And to Rob, it was like, oh, dude, that was kind of like a one-night stand for me. I do had some podcasts. Not saying you weren't special and good, buddy, but yeah.
This is really difficult. I'm holding my phone to do this. So sorry, everybody, if the quality's not great. I'm having a difficult time because I'm having to hold my phone. I've been into Comic-Con all day.
That's fine, Rob. Now that we know how much I really mean to you.
And you know what? I want a guest on here when we have a real guest spot. I've just been very busy, as you know, and tonight I have a purpose for being here. But I'm going to sit back and let you start the show, man.
Yeah. See, that worries me because you know when I got a reason for being here, but you just do your thing. You know, I've worked in a lot of jobs that had
efficiency experts
that had headquarters elsewhere, and every so often someone from headquarters would show up and say, hey, I'm just here.
And
you know what? I never came back the next day.
Charlie, you don't have to worry. Phil, could I see you in my office for a second? I'm just asking.
No, don't. No, Phil is...
No.
There would be no show without Phil. Okay, so let's get to the super connections for this week. There was something very important I wanted to touch on really quick.
Touch it.
And it's completely flown out of my brain.
Geek, so he's full of comedy.
So yes. Rob, how much were you charging for autographs?
Please. Not right now. Not right now.
I
was not charging for autographs. That would never happen.
Meet the guy from Jingle All the Way, and enough said podcast.
I did find a guy cosplaying me, which was pretty awesome. The last time that happened, and it's a joke. Obviously, Gary was not cosplaying me. We just had the same shirt on at the same time. No, the other time it happened, we saw a guy that was unshaven. He looked dirty. He had pajama pants and a geek shirt on. And Martha, my wife, says, "Oh, look, he's cosplaying you." And then the guy ran, and she said, "Oh, illusion." She goes, "Illusion is broken." I'm like, everybody here is the worst. Here's the worst part. I'm trying to hold this phone. My head looks giant and super white. So
just like us, you fit right in.
Yeah.
You gotta hold it. Yeah, you gotta hold it up a bit so you're getting the down,
double chin hanging down.
You always gotta shoot from above, Rob. That's the trick. Shoot from above.
White guys.
I thought you studied film, Rob. You should know
white guys with big heads. You're home, buddy.
How's that? Is that better?
That's fantastic, Rob. No, it's exactly just as bad as before. Oh goodness! Are you drinking apple juice, Rob? Because usually I'm the one with the apple juice problem in these situations. Here, that's a good shot.
This looks good.
Okay, now just don't move your hand at all.
Don't move your head. Don't move your hand.
I would like to point out the streak just ran through in your background there, Charlie.
Yeah, I know. That's my kids. That's my producers.
His family of nudists.
Yeah, they love me.
So I don't have a ton of time on this episode, but I promise I want to come back and spend time.
Okay.
Can I get out? Can I go to a couple of projects we have going before we get into anything?
Yes. Do what you have to do, Rob.
I have to go to dinner, so I've got to. I got to do my thing. So I'm out here to plug a couple of things. Number one, Nuff Said is definitely coming back. So there's that. Number two, I don't think we're covering Inhumans on the regular Nuff Said because, oh my God, that looks terrible.
Don't be hating, Rob.
Hey, Charlie, even you.
I'm
Charlie,
actually
even
no,
you-
no. I've actually warmed to them.
You like
What?
powerless. Your credibility is shot.
Yeah, but he was still even talking crap on Inhumans for a while, so that just should tell you how bad it is.
Yeah,
it looks.
It's bad. It's bad. Okay, so those are the two things enough said related. So it is definitely coming back. Lil and I have been talking. We're gonna get this figured out, and we're gonna be back with a vengeance. And the last episode of last season we did not cover. So we are going to do an episode covering the last episode before the new season comes back, and we're trying to figure out some other fun things we can do to make this work again.
Yes, the last episode.
That's Plug City. The reason I'm on here is two things. Aside from those two things, it's going to be about 7 things. It's all huge too. The next one is we have a book coming out. Phil has written a chapter. Charlie avoided me and did not write a chapter, but he'll be in volume 2. Charlie, stop.
I'm a horrible human being who does not write as much as he should. He's still working on a Rick and Morty blog post that is like stuck at the last paragraph and
like a month.
Never be
Is
finished.
that right? So Charlie will be in volume 2, but we have a book coming out called Pod Life, and we basically got essays from different podcasters. And it was supposed to be originally, the idea was we were going to just talk to podcasters and say, hey, give us a good story and, tell us how you got into it. Like just kind of a nice, fluffy. And then the very first one we got in was like deep and emotional and raw. And we're like, oh my gosh, we have a real book. So this book is not just for podcasters. This is for everybody. So anyone that wants to be inspired, that wants to live a creative life. I mean, it's the best. I love it. Phil wrote a chapter. Like I said, Charlie will be in volume 2 because he will not escape me.
I am shamed.
Pod Life. Now, the reason I bring it up is, yes, I want you to buy the book when it comes out. You can't buy it yet because it's not out, but we have a Kickstarter going on for Pod Life. Just look up Pod Life or Southgate Media Group. And please, number 1, contribute if you can. $1, $5. Get a book and get a hard copy of the book, not a hard copy, a print copy and a digital copy. If you donate, I think it's $20 or $25. I mean, it really helps us. The money, literally, we set the goal really low. We need the money to pay for the editor and to pay for the cover art, which we have all lined up, but it costs money. So if you could support us, that would be awesome. The other thing you can do is share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Put it on Facebook and share it like crazy because spreading the word, people are going to be excited about this book when they read about it, when they see the video that we did. It's really great. So please support Pod Life. And that's what's going to keep things like Enough Said going too, because that's the fuel that we need. Number 2. Phil, did you want to say anything about your chapter before I get to number 2? Or
no, I was just waiting for you to say how bad it is.
Oh, Phil.
What is your chapter?
How bad
Phil
it was.
Wrote a beautiful chapter. And you know what? I tried to make a lot of the chapters because there's a lot of people that know me or that work for us or whatever with us that wanted to include like my name or the company. And I'm like, it's not about us. And Phil's was one of the few chapters that I was like, you know what? He wrote a really nice thing about the company and about like knowing me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to let that pass because it was touching, Phil. It was actually truly touching. So thank you for that. And it did make the book. Charlie, yours did not. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
One more time.
I didn't write anything because I'm lazy and horrible.
Required to write? I'm kidding.
I used to write. I used to. And now I'm a sad, pathetic man living in Newark, New Jersey.
Too much
I'll get you back to it. You don't.
Yeah.
I was cool to you then, Charlie. I will not let you escape me the next time.
No. I'm going to. Yeah.
I know you will. Don't beat yourself up, Charlie. You're awesome and you do awesome stuff. Okay, so the last one is we just started an Indiegogo for our podcast marathon, the 3rd annual Southgate Media Group podcast marathon. It's going to be October 7th. There's an Indiegogo for that. The money for that is literally to pay for flyers. And we have a really great artist doing a poster for us. I'll put it up on Instagram. He did a Daredevil print that I bought that is tight. It is so good. He's going to do the poster for it, but we got to pay for it. So that's what the Indiegogo is for. So I'm here just plugging, trying to get people to help support a couple of these things that we've had going. Like I said, $1, $5, $20, whatever you can do. If you want to break into podcasting, on Pod Life, there's one for $500. You get acknowledged in the book. You get an hour with me. I will fill that hour, and you know me, I'm going to go past that hour. Whatever you want.
Uh-oh. You're cutting out on us, Rob. No?
Signal lost. Yeah. No, clearly the signal got the signal. Oh, there we go.
What? It's Indiegogo for the SMG Podcast Marathon, and it is Kickstarter Pod Life. Excellent. All right, you guys got anything more? I'll shut up.
No, we're good. Do you have to go?
Okay. I have to go to dinner, so I didn't get to plug away. I promise you guys, see if in a couple of weeks I'll try to get Friday, and I will come out and get stuff, okay?
Okay. You're going to join us tomorrow morning?
Inhumans.
Okay. Tomorrow morning, Capes and Lunatics?
What, Phil?
Tomorrow morning, are you joining us for Capes and Lunatics?
Yes, I'm going to be on Capes and Lunatics. Is that on YouTube Live also?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. I will. So I'll make sure
Uh-oh.
I don't think anyone can hear that.
Rob, you're cutting out. We're having trouble hearing you.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
All right. Tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Thank you, fearless leader. Okay.
So yes, Rob will be with us tomorrow morning on Capes and Lunatics also. So
no, Phil, because this is one of the things I want to talk about.
What?
Every week we record Superconnectivity first.
I know. Hey, I send them.
And yet when it is aired, I'm copying off of Capes and Lunatics when we break the story first. I'm just saying.
Take it up with the big man you just talked to. I send this Friday nights. I send Capes and Lunatics. We record Saturdays. I send it
I know.
So that he's in charge of the scheduling.
That's fine. No, I'm just saying it's a weird thing for me, and it's not a weird thing.
Yeah.
I really don't care that much. I mean, I just love to hear the sound of my own dulcet tones.
Breaking the magic. Yeah, we usually record Superconnectivity first. I mean, there were a couple weeks there we were actually doing Capes and Lunatics on a Thursday night, but
yeah, well, you know.
But yeah, I just send them to him. Rob's the one who puts them up.
But that's okay.
Hey, on YouTube it shows up when it exactly when we do it. So
there we go. If you watch it live, you get the true, unfiltered wonder.
If you want the true chronological order, follow our YouTube page.
There's my giraffe boy. That's Tristan. He has he is Giraffe Man. The result of a crazed giraffe experiment gone horribly awry. And here's my other son, Naked Boy.
Hi.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi.
That's Benjamin.
How you doing?
I'm sure they all love you. Okay, guys. Yes. Yeah. Video was a bad idea, Phil. You don't know this now, but no, it's okay, Benny. It's okay. Well, no, because your child is still small enough that they don't know. Wait, I can be in the video?
Hey, no, no.
Did you not read Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or see the movie? Mike TV wants to be in the TV. That's all he wants.
Hey, I'm always looking for original content to drive people to our YouTube. Hey, if your children are it, hey.
Yes. If you would like to see a half boy, half giraffe, then come to Superconnectivity. Oh, now he's half bear. Now he's wearing his Freddy Fazbear costume. My son Tristan very into cosplay. So anyway, there are things I wanted to discuss. Okay,
let's get to it.
I want to talk about is Inhumans. the latest trailer for Inhumans, and I have to say, okay, here comes Freddy Fazbear. Yep, we see you. He's going to do a jump scare. Just watch. The latest trailer for Inhumans, I actually enjoyed it.
Wow.
I'm still not married to the concept. In fact, I think it is going to be not as good as if they had hired me and Tatiana Kott to make it. But I mean, that goes without saying for any film ever made.
So you have a glimmer of hope now?
I have a glimmer. I can see what they're doing with the hair. They went back and put a little money into the hair. I still would not make this Black Bolt centric, but I don't necessarily know that it is Black Bolt centric at this point. Although, for what it's worth, when you talk about all the complaints about budget issues, that means there ain't going to be no reshoots. You know, this ain't no Justice League where we're going to write out Batman because, you know, Ben Affleck played him. And, you know,
so
that's my life. So this is your life, like 6 years from now, or 8 years, or 4 years from now, Phil. You're gonna have a little nerd cosplay son.
Oh, please, he'll be sitting here talking to us.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he's gonna be doing this. He's gonna be creating a story. He's gonna. Yeah.
You're also going.
Well, he only has the one kid, so he's gonna go through the stages. See me? I got the two separate stages. Yes. Okay.
So wait. So you think are we going to see? I don't want to say mistakes, but do you think we're going to see stuff that should be on the cutting room floor just because they aren't reshooting because of limited time and stuff, and they were just like throw it in, improv, ad lib?
No. I'm not going to say it's supposed to be on the cutting room floor. I'm going to say they're going to make the show that they intended to make from the start.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that unlike Justice League, where they suddenly go, "Oh, I guess people like movies with Wonder Woman and that aren't like really depressing and bad. Apparently, people don't like bad films as much as we thought, so let's make a film that's not bad instead." You know, and that's the crux of that. Is like, you know, I mean, with Inhumans, I'm gonna wager they had a good idea. So to me, like I said, Inhumans is right now it's at Iron Fist area, which is that it's a good concept. It might not get as well executed as it should be.
The budget,
but
the budget's not there.
Man, you know, it's not even the budget. You know, everyone always, the budget. The budget is only an issue if you didn't write it right the first time.
Well, I know you said something about Iron Fist didn't have the budget it should have had because maybe they might have had to share with the Punisher.
Well, exactly. Well, because what happened with Iron Fist for me is that to deal with the fact that they didn't have money for reshoots. They didn't have the ability to reshoot a scene. They had to get and go. And I think Inhumans is going to have that same kind of quality. It's get and go, which means we don't get a second take. Which means if you did not hit the right scene the way we want to do, we're going to have to fix it in post. We're going to have to edit it together.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not the best way to make a film, obviously.
And they're complaining about time, but I mean, they're putting out the first, 2 episodes in IMAX, like a month before it premieres on TV. I'm like, if they didn't do that, they would have like an extra month.
And actually, for what it's worth, let me tell you something. That is the problem with Inhumans. That was what I wanted to talk about because I realized it. Okay. The brilliance of the IMAX movie that was not realized is they could have done the whole show as an IMAX movie. That every week on Saturday morning.
Oh, like a serial.
Exactly. They could have done a serial. Like an old RKO serial with the fighting prowess of Captain America. punching Nazis in the face. They could have done that, please. Okay, I know. See, I don't have
Professor Hassenpfeffer.
Yes. Thank you, Benjamin. Okay. No, come on, Tristan. Yes, I know.
What do you think they were nervous that that were people going to go to the movies every weekend though?
Well, I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter, see, here's the thing. Sometimes you got to place a bet and let it ride.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the theaters would want that because, it'd be like, what? You're going to put a Marvel property in our theaters every week for how long? Okay, let's do it. But
well, not only that, but you're going to make it all IMAX tickets, which are the most expensive tickets.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to create a situation where you have this idea where, okay, everyone who comes in is going to paying top dollar tickets because there's not an IMAX matinee really. It's like, it's not $20, it's only $18.
Yeah,
a special matinee price for you.
But I mean, they were crying about the budget, though. Do you think maybe that they didn't have the budget to shoot and not, how many episodes? 8. They didn't have enough to shoot all 8 episodes in IMAX.
Well, that's the thing is that was IMAX's fault. Because you got to remember this whole Inhumans and IMAX thing. That was IMAX's idea. IMAX has a piece of the Inhumans now. IMAX said, hey, we're going to give you the equipment. We want to do a test. But they only did the test on like the first episode as a movie. Rather, and I think of this like the Green Mile. When Stephen King decided, you know what, I'm gonna write pulp serial novels. Because what the heck? I'm Stephen King. I can do whatever the heck I want. Which he can, because he doesn't actually have to make money on his books anymore. I mean, literally, Stephen King could put out a book of blank pages and write Stephen King on it, and it'll still make its money back. And he will make whatever he gets from that, and he's not worried about money at this point. He's a very, very wealthy writer. A thing we don't see much in the universe. But the thing is that IMAX had an idea but didn't take it further. And if they had taken it further, had they said, we're going to do Inhumans as serials. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you were going to see serials sometime in the near future, because we are seeing this sort of unintentional retro of monetization concepts of late, sort of with sponsored content, which is basically how radio got into the world, with sponsored content. And I think we're going to go back to serials. I think we're going to start seeing. Here's what I'm going to tell you: the first person who has the guts to commit to a serial, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be Marvel or it's going to be DC. Makes that choice first. Whoever makes the commitment first, they're going to dominate.
Yeah, but do you think like I said, I think I don't know if they're worried about, people getting in their car every weekend and going to see, even if the serial's probably going to be like an hour, and are people going to drive to the theater every weekend to watch this 1 hour thing? Would it make more sense? And it'd be easier for people, so they would probably be more likely. What if they did like a weekly, hour-long serial like that? Or if they put it on Netflix, or if it's DC, they put it on like another digital platform? Well, they did, and instead, and not like the Defenders where you drop every episode of that season. You just do like one every week.
You're talking about slow casting, and there are some shows that are slow cast. It's a concept, and it's something that is being experimented with. Now, I can't remember the shows that are slow cast, but there are a few that are slow cast right now. It's not actually slow cast; it's just how TV used to be. But but I think the idea of a theatrical serial. Because the idea is, and so to give you an example, we're going to have an hour-long theatrical film. So first off, it's going to cost half as much as a 2-hour theatrical film, arguably. Okay. And you're going to go in, and every weekend you go see the so here's how you actually do it. You do a serial where 1 episode a week, so it's slow cast. Then after the last episode goes, you can come and you can sit in this theater for 8 hours, pay $200, and you're going to see everything back to back. If that's what you want, that's the thing. Is like it is about creating a product that you're interested in. The problem with the Inhumans is that they open with that, and then they don't follow through, because every episode after that is just a TV episode. So essentially, what you have is here's an IMAX movie, which I'm guessing is the 2 episodes, which means you don't get a resolution in the 2 episodes.
No, I think it's the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
But also, I think IMAX is like a big 2-hour commercial teaser. Be like, hey, you want to see the rest of it? Check out the.
No. You know what they might do? So, the 70s Incredible Hulk actually started. It wasn't really a series; it was TV movies. And so when you watch. You watch the first Incredible Hulk, it's 2 episodes together. So it's a 2-hour movie. The second one, which was called Death in the Family, ends himself with the Hulk, at least theoretically. And it's created in this way that you end that episode thinking, oh, well, maybe he cured the Hulk. So that if that was the last episode, then you could walk away from the Hulk thinking, oh, yeah, that was totally resolved. So I'm going to wager whatever you watch in IMAX, whatever the primary concern was, gets resolved. To that extent, I'm going to wager that pretty much everything we see in the trailer is in the IMAX film. And then what we're going to get when we get back to the TV version is, okay, now here's everything that happened after that. And that's when we get our more Games of Thrones-y kind of internecine story. So all the bish and bang happens in those first 2 episodes. And then afterwards you have whatever else happens. But here's what I'm going to say about it. I think the hair has gotten a lot better in the most recent trailer. And, I still think that Black Bolt, that guy, he's not doing it. He is not. Because here's the problem with the guy playing Black Bolt is he wants to act too much. And he wants to put his show in there. He wants to communicate to the audience. It's like, that's not what Black Bolt does. Black Bolt stands there. And then Medusa tells you what he's thinking. Because it's also supposed to be micro expressions. It's supposed to be stuff that you, as the audience, can't really see. Mm-hmm. But everyone who knows Black Bolt, it's sort of like Groot. To understand Black Bolt, you have to think about Groot. Now, when Vin Diesel goes in and records Groot, he is doing real effort to convey what Groot says. Mm-hmm. But no one in the audience is sitting there saying, oh, yeah, I totally get it. But everyone in the film understands Groot. And that is what Black Bolt should be. He should be incomprehensible to the audience, while at the same time fully understandable to everyone watching. Sort of like Helper in the Venture Brothers. By the way, Venture Brothers, I've been watching that because I got the Adult Swim app on my phone to watch Rick and Morty. And Rick and Morty's not on a marathon, but Venture Brothers is. And dang, I gotta say, Venture Brothers is a show that you can just turn on and watch. It is really good. It is always, and I've always liked Venture Brothers, but I never knew that wow, this has real staying power. That I can just sit down and watch Venture Brothers again. I know I've seen all these episodes. I've watched them all multiple times. Sitting there, I got nothing to do. I turn on the app, and there's Venture Brothers running on some random episode, or what have you, and it's like, oh yeah, Spanakopara. It's a good anyway, oh, that's what I wanted to talk about this week. We have time to do a little more, Phil? Or you like?
No,
are
sure.
you like?
No.
Okay. So I've only read one Generations book, which is the Thor Generations. But to me, that was the book you had to read. It's 5 Nights at Freddy's here.
But I'm glad you said you brought this up, because after you do this, I saw something else about Thor that's upcoming that you might not like.
Okay, well that's fine. There's nothing I'm not gonna not like about Thor.
Well, I mean in the comics, because when they renumber, the 700 is titled "The Death of Jane Foster," and then they're saying, I guess the solicit came out for 701, and they're saying,
"Oh goodness, the death of Jane Foster."
Well,
will that be like the? I'm sorry, that does not have cachet at this point in my life.
I know, but they're saying the solicits for 701 say something about a dramatic return, and then I think one of the variant covers is an Alex Ross of like the original Thor, and everyone's like, oh, are they bringing back original Thor? Because Thor Ragnarok's coming out in November, and if somebody else, I mean, that's what killed Otto's Superior Spider-Man is Amazing Spider-Man 2 hit theaters. They're like, we got to bring Peter Parker back.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. Okay, because here's the thing, when you're reading, so in the Generations, we haven't really gotten what it's about yet, but in Thor, we get Jane Foster making this specific statement. She's supposed to learn something. And I think what it is, to be honest with you, I think it is the cubes and the visions, 1940s visions. They're coming back. Mark my words. You're going to see 1940s vision come back in this from Smoke World and say, what they're basically going to say is like, you do realize your universe isn't a universe. Your universe was created out of whole cloth after it was destroyed by the Beyonders. And as a result, you have these new heroes. You have to find why the heroes were important in the first place. And the point is that these heroes were sent back to meet their counterparts.
Well, what if it's Kobik or the Vision of the 1940s saying, you know what, everyone needs to get along, or your universe isn't long. And
well, I don't know the exact qualities of it yet. I mean, it could be.
It's like, hey, new guys, you can learn what worked with these heroes and what mistakes they made that you better not make.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. And I think that there is so much to be seen in that Thor thing, because you have the, warrior for social justice, Jane Foster Thor, meeting old, crazy, grumpy, still cool, but kind of William Shatner Thor, who is officially cool, but still says, "Hey, let me go for your wives." And they say, "Well, not everyone who died had wives." Like, well, then I'll just comfort the wives of you other guys then.
I believe the exact quote is, "I'll comfort the wives of the ugly men."
Yeah, and hey, when you look like Thor, who isn't ugly? Me and Thor. the burden we deal with, being the Olympian ideal of masculinity.
If your wife needs comforting, at Charlie Esser on Twitter.
Yes.
But I guess we're gonna find out next week of how they time travel, because Secret Empire #10 comes out next week. 9 was this week. Yeah. Well, 9 was this week, and 10 is next week. Well, all the guys at the comic book store were laughing. They're like, "Oh, for the first time in 5 years, Marvel's rushing it so they can actually get their summer event done in the summer instead of December."
You can only hope, They do.
But
here's what I'm going to tell you about Secret Empire. That was a thick old book, but it's all book.
Hmm.
I'm gonna call Lilith out on this tomorrow, which you'll actually hear before this. Because of course, even though Superconnectivity records first, Capes and Lunatics airs first. So you always hear Capes and Lunatics first. But I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna call Lilith out on this about the Archies, because that ends with 6 pages of ads.
Oh,
because I looked at the 3 Archie books that were out. There was Sabrina, there was Josie, and there was the main Archie book, which is the big, Betty can't walk and is in a coma. Ooh, crazy! What's gonna happen? And they're real, and they're charging $3.99 for these books. Friends and neighbors, $3.99 for these books.
Are you getting a digital code with that?
I have no, not for. I don't think Archie does digital.
Well, then why is it $3.99?
Because books are $3.99 now, Phil. I don't know if you know this.
I know.
Books are $3.99 now.
Well, I think a lot of them do that, because most of all the Image comics I read, I think they save all the ads for the end, so they're all in the end. I don't think there's any in this breaking up the story pages.
Yeah, first off, I don't like that, because it just emphasizes how many ads are in the book.
You'd rather be fooled?
Well, yeah. Well, who doesn't want to be fooled? I mean, not for nothing.
Yeah, but isn't that better with ads in the end though? Because then it's if you don't want to read the ads, it's okay, there's the last page, and maybe a letter page, and then you're okay, well, I don't have to look at the ads.
Let me tell you this about the ads. Because here's what I'm going to tell you about the ads. This is what really made me mad about the ads in Archie's.
Oh.
They're all ads for Archie books.
Well, yeah. That seems to be the way anymore, isn't it? Because I don't think even Marvel and DC, that doesn't seem like they have much, if any, other products. It's usually advertising.
I get the point. But my point is that when you put those extra pages of ads, it's because someone paid you for that.
Mm.
So if it's Mile High Comics, or it's something else, if it's Billy Whizbang's Amazing Fortunes, 99 cents any product,
I gotcha.
You used to get,
They're not,
or even I'll give you this: if you had a subscription page, I'd say, oh, that's totally cool.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Okay, I see your point. I agree with you. They're not getting paid for those advertisements. They're just pimping their own stuff. So it's get some ads that, if they're gonna have all those ads in there, get paying one, so maybe you can drop the price to $2.99 instead of $3.99.
Exactly. Well, and maybe there's just not a market for it. But here's what I'm gonna say. So this is superb. I picked this up this week. This is David Walker's new book. It is $3.99. It's a decent book. It's part of the Lion Guard, Lion Forge Publishing, part of the Catalyst Prime, I guess, shared universe, perhaps, which I'm guessing our friend Excel will be a part of. And here's what I'm going to tell you. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of ads. Okay, all again for the same concept, selling the books.
Mm-hmm.
These seem so much less than Archie. I got to think Archie had at least 8 or 10 pages. That when you count the full amount. And maybe that's partially because Archie could actually put an M&M's ad here, you know? It's possible that Archie had like M&M's in there too.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, if you're getting the M&M's, I don't need to know what other books you're selling Archie's. And, you know, I know this is a thing with indie books because Bongo does the same thing. The difference is that Bongo, to me, when Bongo does it, because they do comedy books, they do The Simpsons and Futurama and etc. When they put all those ads, there's usually a quality of humor to it that I kind of feel is content in and of itself. I don't necessarily think cover art is necessarily content. And I don't know. It felt like the book was lighter. First off, the book was lighter than this, possibly because Lion Forge is using a heavier stock paper. But all these things have value to the consumer. And it just really struck me that the Archie books were light on content, heavy on advertisements for other Archie books, which doesn't make me want to buy another Archie book if the first Archie book is light on content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas other indie books, I kind of pick it up and I feel this had strength. With regard to Superb, decent book. It is not the conceit I thought it was, but it kind of seems like an even better conceit. And it's kind of a teen hero book, although we're like right at the second issue. So our teen heroes are sort of establishing themselves. Meanwhile, another group is trying to figure out how to control all these teen heroes because basically Smallville style, a bunch of meteors landed on a high school and now everyone in that high school has superpowers, or as they say, 10% of the population has superpowers. So it's an interesting take on it. It's an interesting way to look at things, and I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. I'm not gonna say it's Occupy Avengers, okay? I'm just going right up with that. It ain't Occupy Avengers. It's its own thing. But then Occupy Avengers has a universe to build it on. This is building a new universe, and so far I'm intrigued, so I'm going to keep on reading it. I think episode 2 will get picked up. I might even go back and find episode 1.
So that's like his like original he came up with all those characters.
Well, he came up with these characters. This seems to be, like I said, I think it's a shared universe with Excel and probably Noble and the Incidentals, who all seem to be Asian, which I think is probably sort of meant to be a pun on the term Oriental. Like I said, it's not like there's fewer ads here, but somehow it seems like there's fewer ads. So you gotta ask Lilith to break out her Archie so we can actually do an ad comparison.
Oh,
I would really like to know how many back page ads are in Archie's. See, now this is something that's always bugged me with indies is when they have that ton of back page ads.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like when they give you that, hey, here's some artist notebook stuff. Although usually the artist notebook stuff is at least a little bit interesting. Well, it's just an ad. It says, "Oh, that's clearly just an ad." So
yeah.
So
but
please, I'm gonna text Lilith. Have her most recent Archie book with her because we're gonna do a page count.
Dun, dun, dun. But no, I mean, but is there any kind of defense though that indie books don't get the press that like Marvel and DC get, so they have to put those ads in the back of the book to get their books more attention?
Well, here's what I'm going to say. If you're building a shared universe, the way you get attention for your character is you bring them into your universe.
Yeah.
So you have your crossovers. You have to build these things out. And everyone.
Yeah, we'll remember this. We'll remember the Stan Lee motto, every comic is someone's first, so I think they're banking on, maybe someone picks up Superb too. That's like their first book from that universe, and it's like, well, hey kid, look what else is in this universe.
And that is fine. But what I'm going to say is that the way you do that is you give them something to latch on to.
Mm-hmm.
If all they're seeing is a picture of the next cover of characters they don't really have any attachment to, it's not necessarily drawing them in. And like I said, I really felt the Archie book had, for $3.99, had a lot of that, and a little of other. Had less content in its story, because I kind of feel like there is a lot of content in these stories to be had that gets left out when people focus more on just trying to get someone to read the next book. It's like this: don't try to get people to read the next book. Try to get them to read this book. If they read this book, they may want to read the next book.
Yeah. But so I guess check out this week's Capes and Lunatics for the big Archie off between Lilith and Charlie. Who will win in the battle of the ads? Charlie's reading comics right now.
No, I'm texting Lilith right now.
Oh, he's serious. Oh, it's gonna be a rumble, kids.
Yeah.
Capes and Lunatics this week. If you haven't
Here you go. There's the exclusive.
Oh, I see it
right there. It says, at Little Hellfire, have your Archie book handy tomorrow. We're going to have a page count. Okay? Because, I think this is something that needs to be discussed about the indie world and how in the indie comic world is approaching its business model. And whether or not they're charging extra for advertisements for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't wait for this conversation. It's on like a video game monkey.
I'm going to be honest with you. Lilith may come back and she's going to look. Superb had this many pages when you count the back page and the front page and this page and that page. And Archie had the same amount. But I feel like there's an emotional quality to it. Like I said, it might just be cardstock. It might just be how heavy the paper is that Superb is using versus what Archie's using.
So my question is, if it turns out Archie has all these extra ads, is that going to turn you off from picking up future books?
Here's what I'm going to say is that any book I pick up, it always has to do with what my actual budget is.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's a choice
and how many books are out there.
If it's a choice between an Archie and maybe like an independent that it has, maybe it's cheaper, maybe it has less ads, so you're getting more story for your money. Is that going to make you?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you, Phil. If your book is $2.99, that's an easy pickup.
Okay.
This is what I'll always say is like you can't beat a price point. It's basic capitalism. If you're going to step up with $2.99 books, $1.99 books, $3.50 books, tell you what, you have a guy that puts out a $3.50 book.
Oh yeah.
You're not losing a lot of money. You can play it however you need to cover your nut on that. But if you put out $3.50 books, that's a selling point.
You know what? If Marvel wants to do a legacy and roll back all this stuff back to like past times, how about rolling back some price points for a month or two? To to pre-pricing. $225, $250.
Marvel? I'm gonna tell you. Okay. And it's a little hard for Marvel to do because it already established Marvel Unlimited, but it actually gives you a reason to buy Unlimited. Marvel should have cover price digital books. So if you're not a member of Marvel Unlimited and you want to buy Fantastic Four #1, 15 cents.
Nice.
And you can buy the entire first 20 issues, the first 2 years of Fantastic Four approximately for $3. $4 if you want to get the annuals and everything else.
I like
cover
that.
price
Yes.
digital pricing is a brilliant move. Now,
even in the late 80s, I mean, comic books were like $1. I mean, can you imagine if even just for $1, how many units they'd push?
Well, exactly. Ooh. But this is the thing. See, Marvel has a harder time doing it because they have Marvel Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially what they're doing is they're cutting the cord on Marvel Unlimited because, of course, the argument is, well, yeah, I pay $9.99 for almost every book Marvel ever produced, but quite frankly, I'm not going to read most of these books. I don't need to. But really, as much as everyone loves Shang-Chi, he's not a big mover nowadays. No one is going out and buying all the old Shang-Chis.
But I mean, it's that our accounts where we put our digital codes in. I mean, you can buy issues there, so this.
Well, yeah, the modern ones,
there.
yeah, but you already bought the book.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is but
I think
so for example,
I don't know how far.
For example, I don't want to get Marvel Unlimited, but if they told me, hey, you know what? If you want to get the 80s run of the official handbook to the Marvel Universe, this is what it's going to cost you, or this is what M is going to cost you, and this is what A is going to cost you. Or this is what this issue of Marvel Saga is going to cost you. Or this is what this issue to reread right now.
Mm-hmm. Because
you saw a little box in the bottom of the corner and say, come on, let's read Captain America 43, Volume 2. You're going to go back. So, okay, that's only $1.50. You're going to buy it. This is a business model that could be fantastic for Marvel because they already have a Marvel Unlimited. But if a certain distinguished competition wanted to really churn out some cash on their back issues, the way Marvel is, route, they could go cover price route. You pay cover price, you get the book. Digitally forever, mint condition no less, and I think that's a business model that could really work well for comic books. That's my theory. Anything else you want? I like it too. Well, I thought of it, so of course I like it.
And like I was saying, if Marvel wants to hook people with legacy and they're all about honoring the past. Take a month or two, make all your books. Hell, knock 50 cents off the price of all your books, man. You're going to push way more units.
Yeah. Well, but the problem is that they have to pay the creators on those books.
Yes.
That's the reason why comic book prices go up. It's the reason why baseball tickets go up. Because suddenly the people who did the actual work realized, hey, we actually have some value here, don't we?
Yeah.
And granted, not everyone gets to be a John Byrne, but, everyone gets to be someone. And they say, you need a book produced this week, and you want me to produce it. Here's what I need in return.
Well, I mean, you've made the point. You made the point before. I'm willing. Pay your talent, but I'm willing. If you're going to give me a cheaper book, you can give me cheaper paper stock too, and then that's going to increase the value of your books too, because stuff's going to degrade and stuff.
Well, yeah, not for nothing. I just don't like to spend money. But the point, like for me, with the cheaper stock, it's like I grew up on cheaper stock.
Yes,
it's not really a selling point. Although arguably, I may be counter-arguing myself right now with Suburban and talking about how heavy the card stock is. It's like, well, actually, you feel like you got a bigger book because it's heavier. So maybe that's why they do it. I don't know. I mean, I can't really speak to that specifically. Oh, your book's gonna be finished in 4 pages? Okay, Tristan is writing a book.
Maybe we'll get him to write the blog. The Rick and Morty.
Well, I think he does mostly illustrations. He's quite the artist. Both my kids like to draw, but I think Tristan really finds his focus in drawing. Benjamin finds his focus much more in music, although that may change as time goes on. You don't know. Children. Anyway, okay, so I guess that's that tonight, Phil. Any final thoughts for this amazing adventure through the Southgate universe?
No, just remember what Rob said. Check out the Kickstarter for the Pod Life book, and enough said is returning.
There you go. Okay, if you would like to get out in touch with me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, write to me at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's super blog, all one word, at gmail.com. And of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Inhumans, Legends of Tomorrow, goodness knows what else, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEssser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality.
And this goes to everyone watching.
That's his artwork. It's Five Nights at Freddy's
And
things.
this is the check.
Nice.
Okay, he wrote a check, yes.
And this is a UN screen because you survived Freddy Fazbear. And I draw Fredbear and Friends on it.
Yes, exactly. Because when you survive, you get a check.
Yeah, all the nights.
Yeah, to survive all the nights.
Isn't our producer supposed to be paying attention to the show?
Custom night. And if you put in the secret number, you'll unlock a golden Freddy jump scare if you put in secret numbers.
Yes. So they're executive producers. To be honest with you, really, Phil, you really produce this show.
Even goes to Scott Coffin.
Yes, it all goes to Scott Coffin. You wait, Phil. This is you. You're looking at your future now, friend.
I know.
All your money for fancy toys go to your children. You watch.
I know.
There you go. There's your goodbye jump scare, kids. Okay, Phil, if people would like to reach out to you and say, why do you deal with such an unprofessional loon as Charlie Esser, how can they find you?
If you would like to discuss the home life of Charlie Esser, or even like to do an interview on the Capes and Lunatics podcast, such as I did today with Hope Larson, current writer of the Batgirl comic, keep your eye out for
Hope Larson!
Yeah. New York Times.
Isn't that amazing?
New York Times best-selling cartoonist and writer Hope Larson. You can email me.
Man, how do we get these people?
Power of Twitter, my friend. You can email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. Like I said, I am on Twitter @nightwingpdp. The Capes and Lunatics is on Twitter @CapesLunatics. Or contact us about any of our shows, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And keep an eye. We're going to have yet another new show on the Capes and Lunatics. A special project developed by Mr. Tyler Patrick himself.
Ooh.
Keep an eye out, especially if you love movies.
Okay.
All right, boss, take us out of here.
Yes. Yeah, this is your fault, Phil, because you put us on video. Thank you for listening to Superconnectivity once again. Goodness knows why you do. But please, we thank you. and connect with us again. Good night.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you should. Charlie Esser has a whole other show going on in his house.
Every night's an adventure here at the Esser home.
Adventure time.
Yes, we're on YouTube. Yeah, you can look it up on Capes and Lunatics on YouTube.
The giraffe made me do it. Good night.